Good afternoon. If you're watching this video, I want to tell you thank you. I appreciate you watching my hard work. So this is my student project. My SOL is SOL 1.2. The student, given up to 110 objects, will A. Group a collection into tens and ones and write the corresponding numeral. B. Compare two numbers between 0 and 110 represented pictorially or with concrete objects, using the words greater than, less than, or equal to. And C. Order three or few sets from least to greatest and greatest to least. The first page is my rubric. And then there's my standard. And there's my unpacking the standard, the concept map. First one is my note-taking device, which I made this super cute foldable that's about grouping. So when students do this, they will cut out the base 10 squares so that the first one represents tens, second one is ones, and the third page is when they put tens and ones together. In this way, students will know what does a set of 10 look like, or what do ones look like, and then they will put it together. And here's a chart that represents the tens place and ones place. Once they count the tens place, they will put a 3 here, and then for ones, they put a 4 here. So then they write the entire number numerically. And here's the SOL and the explanation of the note-taking device. The second one is a tiered activity. My tiered activity is the only material the teacher will need is decks of cards, which I have the deck of cards provided here. So for on-grade group, so basically this game is you will pair students up in groups of 2, and each student will have half pile of cards. Of course, you would take out the face cards and the kings and queens cards. And then when the game starts, each student will quickly draw the top 2 cards and flip it over. Then the student will, let me show you. Well, actually, and then the student will combine the numbers to make the biggest number. For example, if the first 2 cards, if one student draw out the card number 3 and card number 1, and then they can make the number 31. That will be the biggest instead of 13. And then the other student will have another number. Then after they presented the numbers, they will compare. For example, the other student's number is 45, and then whoever first say the complete sentence using the words greater than, less than, or equal to. So for example, in the example I was given, students can say 41 is greater than 45 is greater than 21, or he or she can say 21 is less than 45. Whoever says the complete sentence first win that round. So then students will keep going. And for on-grade group, the decks of cards only have number from number 1 to number 9 in it. And for below grade level, the cards provided only has the number from 1 to 5, so that the number is smaller. And for above grade level, there will be 3 players playing. It's the same game, however, students will need to compare 3 numbers using the words greater than, less than, or equal to. So that's definitely more challenging. And then the next is the folder game. This one is the dice and the tokens that the players will need to play this game. And I will take out the folder game. I really enjoy making this. It's called Count the Fun. And this is how it looks inside. So each student will have a token, and this game can have up to 3 players to play. So they will place their tokens at the starting point. And then afterwards, they will roll the dice. They will start rolling the dice. And let's say my first one is 3. So then the student who have the token will go 1, 2, 3. And then you will see there are numbers on every square. For example, this one is 40, and it is a green square. And if it's a green square, you will count by 10. So you will count by 10, count all the way up to the number that's on the square. So in this case, it will be 10, 20, 30, 40. And then the player can be at this square. So the player can only move if he or she successfully count the number by either by 10 or by 5 by 1, depends on which color he or she lands on. And whoever arrive at the finish line first win the whole game. So that is my folder game. And the next one is integrated studies. For this one, for my social studies integrated activity is my social study SOL is life in Virginia today, including food, clothing, shelter, transportation, and recreation. Since food in Virginia, the major plants that's planted in Virginia are peanut, tobacco, and wheat plants. So I cut out different pictures. So this one, if you can tell, it's wheat, and this one is tobacco, and this one is peanut plants. So they are all the same, but when students look at the picture, they will need to circle which the plant is. Is the peanut or tobacco or wheat plant? And afterwards, that's the social study part of this lesson. And then next, students will take out all the little pieces in there, which this one's peanut plant, and they will count how many are in this. And this one has 21. And students will write the number 21 in numerical form. Also, they need to place the 2 on the tens one, and then the 1 on the ones place, so that this matches the SOL to group a collection into tens and ones and write the corresponding numeral. And for science activity, I had students to show you this. So the entire class will have 3 pots that have the exactly same amount of sunflower seeds in it, and they will be placed side by side in the garden center in the classroom. And however, the only changing factor is for the first plant, the students will only water 1 teaspoon of water. Second plant, students will water 2 teaspoons of water weekly. Third plant is 3 teaspoons of water weekly. And then after each teaspoon, students will place a tally mark on the white piece of paper that's hanging above the plant. And after each week, students will count how many tally marks, so how many teaspoons of water each plant received. And then they will put the numbers in order from least to greatest. So for example, this is after 3 weeks. The first one had 3 teaspoons of water, the second one had 7 teaspoons of water, the third one have 13 teaspoons of water. And then students will place the number 3, 7, 13 in order from the least to greatest. They will need to write in this form. So that is my science activity. And then my lesson plan, which is next, and I used a children's literature and my instruction, and they will play guided practice. So basically, I divided students into 2 centers by doing a pre-assessment. So the two pre-assessment will assess if student need more help on based in squares, or student need more help on the place value. And because of that, after students are placed into 2 different centers, after each center they will swap, so each one of them will receive both lecture and the guided practice activity. And then for the assessment, I created this quiz and I typed it up. So this is the assessment for the lesson plan. And then the last section, which is the assessment one. The first one is the first assessment I let students write the 3 symbols, less than, greater than, and equal to, and then write the corresponding words next to it on a whiteboard. And then the second one, I made this Kahoot quiz, which I printed out all the different questions. So this will be on the back of the assessment, so that you can take a look at that so you don't have to go online for that. And then the third activity is the third summative assessment. I created this quiz that has 8 questions, which I have attached it right here. It's called Police, Put Them in Order. So students will write down the number and then put them from either from least to greatest or greatest to least, which matches one of the SOLs. And then the last page is my citation page. So that is my STEM project. I hope that you have a great time viewing it and have a great day. Thank you.